All right, you have a 3. Go back to the house.
Nothing's going to work with Claire. I mean, she's not straightforward, and she's the link. She was the link, and she really failed to keep the factory truly informed as to the state of the thing. Simon, you know, he makes quite a lot of noise.
He's not 100% responsible. The people up in the production room did know more than they're letting on. Yeah.
All right, listen, I think I've heard enough. We'll call these 3 back in.
Hello?
Yeah, Francis, can you send the 3 of them in, please?
Yes, Sir Alan. Sir Alan's ready for you now.
Simon.
Sir Alan.
What you doing here?
Claire was very dismissive of me. Claire was more interested in managing me than doing her job on the task.
I'm talking to him at the moment.
I can't get through to someone that's unmanageable.
Sir Alan, please may I pass a comment? I don't think you're aware of how you are personally.
I think that accusation can be equally as levelled as you,
I
Claire.
feel like
You've no idea how aggressive and assertive you can be when you're just dismissive. And when I said, Claire, I'm the project manager, your immediate response was a dismissive, don't be autocratic. And I hadn't been autocratic in the whole task up until that point.
You were not listening to feedback from Sarah. Sarah was trying to tell you something, and you turned to Sarah and went, I'm project manager, your body language was like this, you were shouting, you were sweating, and it was just not particularly pleasant. So I said,
Claire, in your application to this process, you've made some comments, and I read that your worst qualities are that you're impatient.
I am impatient, but
You can overpower people who aren't as vocal as you. I'd like to meet that bleeding person who isn't as vocal as you. I need a couple of ear pads. I'm sick and bloody tired of it, quite frankly. Is it true you really didn't know what was going on down at the chaos there?
Sir Alan, if I'd made a mistake, I would hold my hands up and say I'd made a mistake. I've done it in the past. Everybody learns by the mistake.
You and Jenny were not in this naive position where you were stood in the back room having no clue what was going on.
Well, they said they were.
But they're making out that they are. They're saying, oh, we had no idea what was happening. Of course you did.
Simon, were they isolated in the back room or not?
I don't think they were completely isolated, Sir Alan, no. Everybody's culpable here. You know,
I'm not trying to pass the buck or pass the blame.
That's what it sounds like.
No.
Everybody sounds like they're trying to pass the buck.
No.
I made people laugh and smile in that shopping centre yesterday. I was creative. I created a buzz around my photography stand. And if I could have had my orders delivered, I'd have made you a fortune yesterday. I'd have made you an absolute fortune.
But you didn't. Early indications were at 10:30 you weren't taking the money. You thought it was rectified by 1:30, you still weren't taking the money. At 3:30 still sounds like bloody chaos. What's that got to do with making people laugh? It's almost insulting me in saying, yeah, I did. I drummed up a lot of business. The only thing is I screwed everything else up.
I didn't screw up the delivery of the order, Sir Alan. At 7 o'clock I had...
One of your team did, and you're responsible for them, right?
Yes.
Why shouldn't I fire you here today?
Because I can do this. I've got confidence in my own ability. I'm learning. I'm growing.
You're learning at my expense by losing me money.
It won't happen again.
It may not happen again, my friend, I can assure you. Alex, who should be fired here today?
Claire.
Claire, who should be fired here today?
Simon, can I say that I did my job to the best of my capabilities, and I was going from...
And so did I.
...from leadership of a project manager.
I
feel that I'm being treated like a scapegoat.
Why? Why have you been treated like a scapegoat?
Because there's emotions involved, things have become personal.
It hasn't become personal.
Nothing's become personal. This is entirely a business decision.
Simon, I think you're incredibly sensitive about...
I'm not sensitive. I was the project manager. I lost money. But the reason I lost money, and I could have made a fortune in that shopping centre this morning if we'd started this morning.
Could have.
Because I'm good at...
Could have, yeah. Could have, should have, would have, yeah. But you didn't, right?
No, Sir Alan, I didn't.
No, you didn't, yeah? I think I've heard enough for me to make a very, very difficult decision here today.
Sir Alan, may I say one more thing, please?
If you insist.
I think in this whole competition, if you sit back and remain quiet and under the radar, people assume they're safe. And I've been bold, and I know I'm vocal, and that puts
you
me...
have been bold, all right.
And
Don't
it
worry
puts me
about
in a vulnerable position. I'm sorry, I've sat
Trouble
here...
is, you know, you never back off.
You know what? I'll tell you what I'm going to do with you. I'll tell you what I'm going to do with you. I'm getting sick and tired of you denying all this, you know? I'm sick of looking at you at the moment. Get out that door. Get back to the bloody house, okay? Get back to the house, yeah? Because you're going to be the next team leader. I'm sick of looking at you at the moment. Get out that door and get back to the house. Simon, if I asked you to build me a wall, you'd build me a wall. I'm pretty sure of it. If I asked you to dig me a trench, I think you'd dig me a trench. I am not that sure that if I gave you my investment portfolio, you'd be able to run that very well. I'm sorry, my friend, I think you're a bit out of your depth here. And with regret, you're fired.
Thank you for a wonderful opportunity. Thank you, Sharon. Goodbye. Go and win it. All right.
The taxi's ready for you now.
Thank you, Francis.
I said from the moment we had this discussion, it's not Simon, it's going to be one of the people who goes in with him. From what I've heard, it's going to be Claire.
I think Claire's
going to go. He's going.
Yeah.
Come on, who's coming up?
Can we have a drum roll, please?
Come on.
Anyway, you can go, and I was like, you can go back to the house and you're project manager next time.
Really?
So sorry folks, I've got to be project manager again.
I'll give it my best shot. I'll give it everything I had. I gave 100% in every task I did. I made a lot of people smile in that shopping centre yesterday, and that was a really good feeling. But at the end of the day, I failed. And I'll go home now, pick myself up, and I'll be putting satellite dishes up again next week.
One job. 12 candidates remain. Sir Alan's search for his apprentice continues. Next week, Sir Alan doorsteps the candidates.
What you're going to do is design and develop several flavours of ice cream and sell those flavours to the trade.
But which team will sell enough to lick the opposition?
That is the sign of a good salesperson. We kept up the momentum. Yeah.
Sometimes you have to turn a deal down, you know. A deal which is not good for the long term of the business. You're fired.
Simon has just enough time to dry the tears from his eyes. Catch him on The Apprentice, You're Fired, over on BBC Two now. Get exclusive video clips, news and interviews at bbc.co.uk/apprentice. Remembering the gobby candidates from the series, The Apprentice Motor Mouths, Friday night at 9 on BBC Two.